typical pessimistic shrew, and of course, all the marvelous intricacies of sex. The bungling braggart. There was an old man that lived in the wood, as you can plainly see, who said he could do more work in a day than his wife could do in 3. If that be true, the old woman said, why this you must allow, that you shall do my work for a day while I go drive the plow. But you must milk the tiny cow for fear she should go dry, and you must feed the little pigs that are within the sty. And you must watch the bracket hen, lest she should lay astray. And you must wind the reel of yarn that I spun yesterday. The old lady took the staff in her hand and went to drive the plow. The old man took the pail in his hand and went to milk the cow. But Tiny hinched and Tiny flinched and Tiny cocked her nose, and Tiny hit the old man with such a kick that the blood ran down to his toes. 'Twas hey, my good cow, and how, my good cow, and now, my good cow, stand still. If ever I milk this cow again, 'twill be against my will. And when he milked the tiny cow for fear she should go dry, why then he fed the little pigs that are within the sty. And then he watched the bracket hen lest she should lay astray, but he forgot the reel of yarn his wife spun yesterday. He swore by all the trees and the leaves on the tree and all the stars in heaven that his wife could do more work in a day than he could do in 7. The pessimistic shrew. One day I was walking, I heard a complaint. I saw an old woman, the picture of gloom. She gazed at the mud on her doorstep, 'twas raining, and this was her song as she wielded her broom. Oh, life is a toil and love is a trouble. Beauty will fade and riches will flee. Pleasures they dwindle and prices they double, and nothing is as I should wish it to be. There's too much of worriment goes to a bonnet. There's too much of iron and goes to a shirt. There's nothing that pays for the time you waste on it. There's nothing that lasts us but trouble and dirt. In March it is mud, it is slush in December. The midsummer breezes are loaded with dust. In fall the leaves litter, in muddy September the wallpaper rots and the candlesticks rust. There are worms on the cherries and slugs on the roses, and ants in the sugar and mice in the pie. The rubbish of spiders no mortal supposes, and ravaging roaches and damaging flies. With grease and with grime from corner to center, forever at war and forever alert. No rest for a day lest the enemy enter. I spend my whole life in a struggle with dirt. Last night in my dreams I was stationed forever on a far distant isle in the midst of the sea. My one chance of life was a ceaseless endeavor to sweep off the waves as they swept over me. Alas, 'twas no dream, ahead I behold it. I see I am helpless my fate to avert. She lay down her broom, her apron she folded. She lay down and died and was buried in dirt. Oh, life is a toil and love is a trouble. Beauty will fade and riches will flee. Pleasures they dwindle and prices they double, and nothing is as I should wish it to be. And finally, naked sex. One day there was some folks had a lot of company all come at once, so the house was pretty crowded. After they got everybody settled down for the night, they had one boy and one girl left over, ain't so bad as you might expect. Because they was all in a big room with a lot of other folks sleeping around. But just for the look of the thing, the old lady put a long, old-fashioned bolster down the middle of the bed. A bolster is a long pillow, but stuffed a lot harder than common pillows is nowadays. Boy, he didn't go to sleep for a long time because he was thinking about that pretty girl right there in the bed with him. You know, the girl was awake too but he couldn't do anything about it. The moon was a-shining right in on the bed, and there were all them other folks in the room sleeping with him. Also, the boy hadn't ever even seen that girl before that day, so he didn't know her. Didn't know how she was going to act or what she was going to do. Didn't want to raise no ruckus and get thrown right out of the house. So he just lay there and finally went to sleep. Well, the next morning come, and the women folks was all up and dressed, and they was fixing breakfast for everybody. The girl, she was pleasant enough, but she didn't talk much. Along that evening, him and her went walking down by the creek, and they run across a 5-rail fence with no gate in sight. The girl says, "I can jump over easy enough, but I'm afraid you'll have to go around." The boy just looked at her and said, "What you talking about?" The girl kind of giggled and said, "Well, a fella that can't climb over a bolster ain't gonna have no luck with a 5-rail fence." That took some